It's been a topic of conversation since ancient times. The first person recorded to have used the concept of innovation was Xenophon. Xenophon called it, and I will excuse my pronunciation of anybody who can pronounce it better than me, kainotomia. And at that time, innovation was connected with political innovation. So it's not the kind of innovation we tend to think about today, but it was more structural, it was more perhaps part of the way people were living and were being governed. The Romans then took this idea and turned it into innovo. I renew or I restore. So again, we're moving closer to what we think of innovation as being today. The theme in the 16th century we find in The Prince, Machiavelli's Prince. Machiavelli picked up Xenophon's idea. He uses innovation to explain the strategy that a prince might use to stay ahead of a constantly changing world and deal with the corruption that he finds in it. So, again, it's not quite where we see it today, but it's getting closer. In the 20th century, the concept of innovation becomes a real issue after the Second World War. After the Second World War, people started seeing technical innovation, started seeing changes in the way in which they were living, and associated these technical innovation and changes with economic growth and competitive advantage. And I think that's where you can see how very much innovation becomes part of our lives and how we need to make it and develop innovation, because that effectively is what's keeping us going. Business and economic innovation is generally seen as the catalyst for growth. And again, in the 21st century, it's perhaps even more important today than it ever has been. Even coming here, I was reading stuff about ChatGPT and AI, etc. I'm not that old. When I started work, admittedly centuries ago now, there were no telephones, no mobile telephones. There wasn't a telephone, of course. There were no mobile telephones. There was no fax machine. There was no email, etc. I remember sitting in front of a telex machine and typing in things that had little holes in pieces of paper. The world has changed a great deal. We need to constantly look around to see how the world is changing and ensure that our businesses and our activities remain relevant to a world that is effectively changing almost every single day and becomes more competitive. As the management theorist said, Peter Drucker said, you innovate or you die. Innovation is the key to survival. Ultimately, whether it's linear, whether it's disruptive, innovation is vital that we remain current and adapt to the fast and often unpredictable evolution of the world around us. The pace of change in our time requires us to look at old concepts and revolutionize our economic structures. We innovate with better and more effective processes, products and services. Joseph Schuster, seen as the modern father of the concept of innovation, said that entrepreneurs continuously search for better ways to satisfy their customer base with improved quality, durability, service and price. Searches which come to fruition in innovation with advanced technologies and organizational strategies are the key to success, the key to the future. Innovation basically is problem solving. It's identifying a problem that has no current solution, and then finding an adequate solution or a number of solutions, and turning something that perhaps is limited in scope or is limited to an elite into something that then becomes available to everybody. Sometimes this changes the way an industry acts or an industry behaves. Sometimes it changes the whole world, this whole business world and social and civil world. We forget sometimes that innovation is not simply technological. It's not simply something that is happening because we have computers and how computers are changing. And it's not all happening in Silicon Valley. I'm going to finish my brief talk with another quote. This time, Thomas Edison. The value of an idea lies in the using of it. Thank you.